We hear that Israel and Turkey's relations have been recently normalizing. Is it true, officially?
Well, it's a bit more complicated. We are engaged in a dialogue between Israel and Turkey, and of course, the purpose is to normalize the relations. This is our aim. I think that this is the aim of Israel and also of Turkey. We would like to see our relations back to normal because it is good for us, it is good for the two countries, and it is also good for the region, especially given the turmoil and the anarchy that we see now in the whole region. So it's a kind of a win-win situation. But of course, it's difficult to get there. There have been difficulties, there have been obstacles, and we need to talk about all of those issues and make sure that we leave all the misunderstandings behind us.
Why are two countries joined at the table at Zurich? Is there a special meaning for that, or whose idea is this?
Well, I don't want to enter into the small details, of the contacts that we have, because this is maybe less important. The more important thing is that we really want to make it successful. We understand also that now Turkey is in a certain situation because of latest developments in Turkey itself and also in the region. And we are very attentive to all of that. And we know that good relations with Turkey could be a guarantee of regional stability, and we would like to work in favor of that.
Is it only regional stability, or is it also there's a economic food in these negotiations? Like the Israel find gas, and do you want to sell it to Turkey? So is it a part of these negotiations?
Well, when we talk about economic relations between Turkey and Israel, it's important to know that despite the political difficulties in the last years, we have enjoyed very, very good economic relations. And when I look at the figures of imports and exports, they are going up every year. So there is a very good basis and solid basis for economic cooperation. You speak about energy. Energy is important, of course. Israel has found natural gas. I don't know, and I think it's much too early to say whether this natural gas could be used also in the context of Turkey or Turkey and Israel. We are still looking into the issue. We just approved a couple of weeks ago the government policy regarding the export of some of this natural gas. So it's really too early. But energy was always an important topic of discussions between our two countries. Some years ago, we were discussing the continuation of the Baku-Ceyhan pipeline and other such issues. So it's always going to be there on the table, undoubtedly.
Where are we standing now? Are we close to the end of negotiations, or we have lots of steps to the end?
Well, I don't want to speculate on that because, it's over when it's over. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense to say in what position we are. Things are continuing. There is a dialogue, but I'm not in a position to tell you whether it's going to be over or not.
Is it going to be something like that, like an agreement, like 5 points, and there will be a sign at the end of these negotiations, or is it going to be natural way in a small, or you will put it on time and you don't need to make an agreement sign? Or
well, I don't know. I don't know what will be the formal form of this agreement. But I can tell you that on the Israeli side, there is a lot of goodwill. If you remember, Prime Minister Netanyahu already called then Prime Minister Erdogan in order to express our sorrow for this Mavi Marmara incident. So there is a goodwill on the Israeli side, and I hope that it will be translated also in the future of our relations.
what's changed in the Israel side and what's changed in the Turkish side? What do you think?
Well, I think
Why now?
Well, a lot of things have changed also in the region. I would start looking first at the region. Syria is falling apart. There are also now difficulties between Turkey and Russia. I think that this whole, the Turkish policy, which was based on zero problems with the neighbors, is not particularly successful. So Turkey is also looking around and trying to find who could be allies and who could be friends and partners in such a situation. It's totally legitimate. And for us, Israel, we also look at the region. We have gotten very close to Greece and Cyprus, also regarding energy issues. We have very good relations with Egypt. We have have very good relations with the moderate Sunni Arab countries in the Arab world. And I think that having good relations with Turkey would be also very important.
What about Gaza embargo? There is nothing changed, and it was one of the red line of Turkey until today. Do you think that something changed or something might be changed at the Gaza embargo?
Look, there is no embargo on Gaza. There is no embargo on Gaza. Merchandise enters freely into Gaza. Construction material can enter freely. Everything can enter freely into Gaza. There is no blockade on Gaza. The only thing that there is, and it is absolutely legitimate, and we are not going to compromise on that, is that there are security controls in order to make sure that Hamas cannot build again a military power in order to attack Israel. So we are not going to take a risk or compromise on that particular issue. If we know that cement or building materials are brought into the Gaza Strip in order to build tunnels for Hamas, we will not allow it. And it doesn't matter where this cement comes from. It's totally legitimate. It's our first priority, and it's totally normal, first of all, to protect the Israeli population. And I think that in Gaza, they start to understand it. They understand that if they want to live in a prosperous Gaza Strip, in an environment in which there is economic activity and commercial activity, and they can look also at their future, they need to stop with the violence.
What about Mr. Erdogan's wish to go to Gaza? Last 4 years, 5 years, he's always saying that one day I will go to Gaza. Is it on the table of the negotiation? Is it one of the must thing on the table? What do you think?
Well, you know, I am the spokesman of the Israeli Foreign Ministry. I am not the spokesman of President Erdogan.
What about Israel government? What do you think about as an Israel Foreign Ministry? Is it do you think that one day it might be possible or it's impossible? Is it a red line also for Israel?
Well, as the spokesman for the Israeli diplomacy, I do not engage in speculations. When we come to that, then we will deal with that.
So what do you think? What will be changed if everything goes right? Like 1 year later, what will we see in Israel and Turkish relations?
Well, I served for many years in Turkey, and I must say that I love Turkey. I love your country. And I see the extraordinary potential for the cooperation between Israel and Turkey. It's not only about economics and politics, it's mostly about the heart. Our two peoples, our two nations are very similar. And when you put Israelis and Turks together, you can do something extraordinary for our two countries and also for the whole region. This could be a locomotive for the whole region. This could show an example for the whole region, how to work together, how to develop things, how to build a future. So I see an extraordinary potential. You know that we in Israel, we love Turkey. We like very much the Turkish people, and we do not understand why have we found ourselves in such a situation. We cannot accept the kind of aggressivity that we perceive from the side of the Turkish government. But if we go over that, if this is behind us, then we can certainly look at a great potential together.
My last question, is there any third country in the table like United States or any other countries watching all these agreements or negotiations?
Well, again, I don't want to comment directly on the format of the negotiations, but I think that Israel and Turkey are adult enough in order to deal on their own with their own affairs.
Emmanuel, thank you very much for joining
Thanks.
us.